Hey everybody, this is Jerichos, and welcome to my brand new Let's Play. I'm going back to my childhood for this one. Going back to a game I have played through dozens of times. I have completed this game on numerous occasions. It's a sweeping RPG with a grand story, interesting characters, crazy action, and weird and interesting plot twists. That's right, it's time for Final Fantasy VI. And specifically, I am playing Final Fantasy VI Advance. But it's going to be a little different from my usual Let's Plays. However, I'm going to get into that later. For now, let's boot this up, and I'm going to start a brand new game. Let's do that, and let's find out what our story is. The ancient war of the Magi. When its flames at last receded, only the charred husk of a world remained. Even the power of magic was lost. In the 1,000 years that followed, iron, gunpowder, and steam engines took the place of magic, and life slowly returned to the barren land. Yet, there now stands one who would reawaken the magic of ages past, and use its dread power as a means by which to conquer all the world. Could anyone truly be foolish enough to repeat that mistake? There's the city. Hard to believe an Esper's been found frozen there after 1,000 years after the War of the Magi. Bah! Probably just another wild goose chase. I don't know. They wouldn't have let us use her unless they were confident that the information was good. Ah, yes. Our witch. I hear she fried 50 of our Magitech armored soldiers in 3 minutes. Kinda makes her skin crawl, don't it? Relax. With that thing on her head, she's a mindless puppet. The girl won't even breathe unless we tell her to. We'll approach from the east. Move out. And now we get a very iconic opening cutscene with a credit scroll. Now, I'm going to explain why I've chosen the version of this game I have. I grew up with Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo, and it's a fantastic game, but there are some differences between 3 on the Super Nintendo and 6 on the Game Boy Advance. The biggest difference is a retranslation. They fixed some errors, they kind of completely redid a lot of it. They put spell names and items more in line with later games in the series. For example, instead of Fire 1 and Fire 2, it's Fire and Fyra. And just all around, I like the translation a little better. I love Ted Woolsey, and they kept some of his iconic lines, but they fixed some things too. As far as the other thing, there's added content. There are 2 extra dungeons. They're not as important, but I really like the new translation. Now, there are some downsides to the Game Boy Advance version. It's a little brighter, and the screens, like the colors, are a little more washed out because it was made for the dark, non-backlit screen. The screen is cropped a tiny bit, and the biggest one that most people have a problem with is the soundtrack. The Game Boy Advance is not as powerful as the Super Nintendo, so when they did the soundtrack, it got kind of butchered. Except that's not the case with the LP I'm doing. This is what makes it a little different. But for now, we've arrived at Narsh. The girl takes point. And don't waste time on the riffraff. Remember what we're here for. Let's move. So we are in control of a mystery girl who's a Magitech Elite and Wedge and Biggs, 2 soldiers. Yep, this was the beginning of Final Fantasy's fun little thing of putting Wedge and Biggs in the games as recurring duos. Before anything else, I'm going to go into the config, battle mode active or wait, time stops when selecting items or magic spells, or time flows normally even when selecting items and magic spells. I'm going to put it to active. I think that's more interesting. Battle speed, let's make the battles as fast as possible. Messages is going to stay the same. Let's see, I don't need to change this or this one. Okay, the rest of the settings I'm keeping the way they are, except window pattern. You can change what your windows look like. It's kind of fun. I mean, one looks like wood, one looks like rock, one is fat chocobo. I'm going to pick the one I always picked when I was younger. I'm going for the strange lightning, maybe granite, whatever it is. I really like it a lot. I'm not going to change the colors at all, but I'm going to point out real quick, there is a bestiary. You go through the game and you encounter enemies, they will fill up in here. I am going to be making sure we see every enemy at least once. I'm not going to be showing every different possible place you can find them, but I am going to make sure we fill the bestiary up, including missable enemies. But as we wander here, Imperial Magitech armor? Not even Narsh is safe anymore. We get into a battle. Now our 3 party members, when they come up, they have Magitech, which lets us do a couple elemental beams or a healing beam. So let's do Fire Beam and Ice Beam. And you'll see there, our Mystery Girl had some more attacks. We'll get more into those as she gets turns. The Fire Beam, Ice Beam, and Thunder Beam all do pretty much the exact same damage. They're going to one-shot these enemies no matter what. Just keep wandering forward. There's no real reason to explore here. For Narsh! And we'll get into a few required battles. And, oh, preemptive strike. So we can do these different attacks. It's not giving her a turn because she's at the top, but you'll see she has the same 4 they do. She also has a couple extra moves. I think, let's try in the next turn, I'll show off some of her stuff. Because now we gotta fight the guards. Let's see. I'll just kill one of them. And now I'm gonna use Banisher. And when she does this, you'll notice something interesting. When he does his attack, it does 145 damage. When she does hers, it doesn't do any damage at all. It just instantly removes the enemy from the battle. Kind of neat, but doesn't really matter. It's just as easy to use one of the elemental beams. Now, we are surrounded both sides, so we've got enemies coming from the left and the right. And we have to take them out. You cannot target, you can only target one at a time with the basic Wedge and Biggs attacks. However, she has a couple attacks, like Confuser, that targets everybody on one side. So with Confuser, you'll see she actually makes them turn around. They will be confused, and they'll attack each other if I give them the chance. I'm not giving them the chance. I'm just going to destroy them. And everyone gained a level. That's nice. So if you've noticed, or if you've played the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance version before, you'll notice, even though this is the Game Boy Advance interface, the colors are a little darker. We're playing, they look more like the Super Nintendo. And, oh, here's a good one to show off her abilities. Also, she's low on health. Let's have these guys use Healing Force on her. And, you know what, Healing Force on you, because you're also low. And then I'm going to use Bioblast, which attacks every enemy. Yeah, Healing Force does 300 healing, and they only have like 70 or 90 HP. It's gonna full heal you every time. So Bioblast is an AoE. It hits them all and took them all out in one go. And as I was saying, much like the colors, in addition, the soundtrack you'll hear sounds like the Super Nintendo version. There is a reason for this. According to our source, they unearthed the frozen Esper in a new mineshaft they were digging. This must be it. Well, we made our way to the mines. Let's head inside. And we can get into some random battles in here, but probably we won't. It's such a small area. However, what's this? A strange light fills the air. Do you want to learn about save points? Yeah, sure, why not? At save points, you can use tents and sleeping bags and also save the game. If your party should happen to be defeated in battle, you'll automatically restart from the last place you saved. Any gil or items you obtained will have to be found again, but your level and experience point total will not change. You can also save the game anywhere on the overworld map. Well, that's kind of nice. It's helpful that if you just get completely wrecked by a boss or something, they're going to let you keep your experience. Now, in battle, you may have noticed that our mystery girl had one more option than they did. Everybody had items, everybody had Magitech. She also had magic. She can cast Cure and Fire. So, I'm going to take a quick moment and cure Big since he didn't get topped off. And then let's save here. Ah, the good old days of cartridge games when saves were pretty much instant. So let's keep wandering into the mines. And we come to a gate. I'll handle this. I'll handle this. Stand back. Forgot which voice I was doing for who for a second. Boom! Breaks down the gate. Nothing else can stand in our way, and uh-oh. We're not handing over the Esper. Ymir, get them! Yep, we get to fight a giant slug or snail. Hold it! This thing's up. They must have trained it to guard the mines. What are you talking about? You know what this is? Ever heard of a lightning whelk? It's a monster that absorbs lightning and stores the energy in its shell. Right. So whatever you do, don't attack the shell. I got it. Well, you know what? We want to attack the head. Doesn't matter what element you use. I'm going to use the last spell of hers we haven't seen is Magitech Missile. Now notice their attacks do about 145, 150 damage. Magitech Missile, 500 damage. Yeah, it's powerful. Now whenever he does this, he is disappearing into the shell. And if you had an attack queued on him, it will hit the shell. Let's see what happens when we do that. Megavolt. Yeah, he counters with an attack that could be against one person. It could be an AoE on the whole party, but it's not nice. And if you had all three party members queued up, oh man, you're going to get hit hard. Alright, he's coming back. So my personal preference for this fight is have everybody get in one command each. By the time you try to get a second command in, he is going back into the shell. Do this a couple times, and he'll be down no problem. So, yep, see, going back in the shell would have happened before her attack could have gotten off. Now, all I gotta do is just wait for him to reappear, launch a Magitech Missile, and this fight will be over. Come on. Come on, little whelk. Oh, brother. You're just hoping I will attack you. Not happening. Let's go ahead and missile him, and he will be down. And first boss fight is complete. Not too bad, really. Hey, got a high potion. Let's wander in and see if we can find the Esper. And sure enough, here it is. Like I said, this area is kind of small. So, this is the frozen Esper. Oh, I love this song. This thing's giving me the creeps. Something's not right. It's glowing. The frozen creature begins emitting an eerie light. Where's that light coming from? Ah! What was that? Wedge? Wedge, where are you? Hey, what's going on? I hope you didn't get too attached to Biggs and Wedge, because they're gone. Yep, they literally just got obliterated. However, our mystery girl seems to have some connection to this thing. And it just actually blew up her Magitech armor. And a little while later, she wakes up in a bed. And we're in a house in Narsh. And with that, we actually have control. We can move around. And let's talk to this guy. Where am I? My. And I just removed the crown. My head hurts. Easy there. This is a slave crown. The others were using it to control you. It was robbing you of your thoughts, making it so you do whatever they told you. Can't remember a thing. Don't worry. It'll all come back to you. In time, that is. And let's get our official introduction. A mysterious young woman born with the gift of magic and enslaved by the Gestalian Empire. Meet Terra. This is our first true long-term playable character. I hesitate with calling her the main character. She is important, but there are so many characters who this story is important for. I don't feel like there is a single main character. And I'm going to be using all of the default names. I'm not changing any of them, but you can if you want to on your playthrough. My name is Terra. Impressive. I've never heard of anyone recovering so fast. You must be made of tougher stuff than most. And, uh-oh. Some Narsh guards have found us. Open up. We're here for the Magitech armor pilot. Open this door right now and hand over that girl. She's an agent of the Empire. Empire? Magitech armor? There's no time to explain. You need to get out of here. These fools aren't going to listen to reason. This way, quickly. Or we can go to the left, and let's go ahead and exit the house. Sure, let's just turn ourselves in. Open this door right now and hand over that girl. Yeah, he says the same thing. You can't exit this way. And now I'm going to teach you the first lesson of these type of RPGs. Check your surroundings because you can find items in random objects, like this clock has an elixir. Also, you can hold down the B button to run. This is a feature added to the Game Boy Advance. I will probably forget about it a lot because, honestly, it wasn't in the Super Nintendo version, and that is the one I played way more. Make your way out of town through the mines. I'll try to buy you some time. Sure thing. Let's wander here. Sneak along this pathway. Hope they don't find me. They found me. Yep. You should recognize this as the path that we walked under as the Magitech, except this time we're sneaking around back through the caves. And I hope you're ready because you're going to get random battles in here. Bandit and Spritzer. You can do some regular attacks and they'll die in roughly one hit. I will be doing my typical RPG rules of once we've seen an enemy, if we encounter that exact same enemy again, if it's not a new encounter, then I'm going to just skip showing the battle. Unless something interesting happens. There is one more enemy we can find in here. Oh, hey, save point. I want to get that. Let's definitely pop off and save our game real quick. Yep, we are officially Terra now. And up here, you're going to see we found a treasure chest. Now, this game does something interesting. With a lot of treasure chests you find, if you open them now, you'll get one item. If you open them later in the game, you'll get something different. If we open the treasure chest now, we will get a Phoenix Down, which revives a party member if they've been KO'd. However, for the most part, I'm going to choose to leave these chests unopened and get them later. Hey, Tara got a level from that. For the most part, the later items are better. Not always, but most of the time. And in this chest, if we open it now, we get a sleeping bag, which they mentioned it briefly at the save point, but sleeping bags will fully restore the HP and MP of one character, and tents will restore the HP and MP of all characters, except you can only use them at save points and at the world map. So you see, I can't use this right now. But let's leave that chest alone for now. And as we head north, we still have not encountered the one enemy that it remains, which ironically should be more common. One to the left, here's a little enclave. I mean, enclave. Wait, enclave? Enclave? I don't even know what I'm saying. A little area here with a strange bit of wall, but we can't do anything with that. Let's wander over, and I want to encounter the enemy here. There it is! Wererat! These guys are pretty weak. They die in one hit. Nice thing is, if you want to, you can use, since you're always encountering two enemies in here, you can use Terra's magic, fire, to obliterate them. Now, it does weaken the damage if you spread it across enemies, but you'll notice 170 for one hit? Yeah, that's powerful. So let's wander up here, and there she is! Uh-oh, they found us. Uh-oh, not good. Got cornered and then fell into a pit, and she's dead. That's it, game over. Nope, wait. And, yep, she's dead. No, I'm just kidding. She blacked out, and now we get a little bit of memories from her. My sweet little magic user. Whee! With this slave crown, you'll be all mine. So this mysterious Kefka is the one who put the crown on her. Creepy. Ooh, you can just tell looking at that that's an evil laugh. And we got a place that's on fire, and she is just burning the Imperial soldiers, which is crazy considering she's supposed to be an Imperial soldier. Good, good. Burn them all to a crisp. So, yeah, he's insane. That sounds fun. And you just know we're going to have to deal with him in the future. Oh, look, there he and Terra are, as well as a couple other people all hanging out here. Soldiers of the Empire, we stand at the dawn of a new age. The lost power of magic has returned to us. We are the chosen ones. The time has come for us to claim our rightful dominion over the world. Nothing shall stand in our way. Hurrah! Long live Emperor Gestal! So yeah, that guy is the Emperor. And I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, and even still now, he kind of looks like a dog? I don't know, his hair on the side looks like big floppy ears to me. I can't unsee it. I grew up thinking that. And now you can't unsee it either. But anyway, now that she's passed out, we're going to swap over to a new character. Took you long enough. Busy with all the robbing and plundering, I presume? I love the face. The sprites are so expressive. I also love this music. A treasure hunter and trail-worn traveler searching the world over for relics of the past. Meet Locke. He is a thief. Oh, excuse me. I prefer the term treasure hunting. Ha! Semantic nonsense. There's a huge difference. I love the finger wag. Anyway, is there something you need me to do? There is indeed. I met the girl. You don't mean... The city guard is pursuing her as we speak. The city has the strength to stand up to the Empire, but it won't use it. The people are just too stubbornly independent to join an underground resistance group like the Returners. I tried to explain that the Empire was controlling the girl, but they wouldn't even listen. Alright, so you want me to get her out of Narsh? That would be the idea. Make your way to Figaro for the time being. So, I commented Locke as a thief. This game sort of has job classes in that different characters have unique special abilities. Locke can steal items from enemies. You can't change job classes like in some of them, like Final Fantasy V, but in this one, it's more like each character has an assigned class. Now we've got her. Uh-oh. And he's got a bunch of trained beasts with him. This is not going to go well. Wonderful. There's a whole bunch of them. Goodbye! Moogles? Are you saying you want to help? Goodbye! Meet the Moogles. Use us to protect Terra from the guards. Would you like an explanation? Sure. You'll fight using 3 different groups. Press select to switch between them. Defeat the leader of the guards before his men reach Terra, or the battle's lost. And we have 3 groups to control. Let's move them into position and take a look at who we've got. Locke, obviously, is our main character that we have here. He wields a dagger. He could have something in his left hand, but I don't have any equipment I can change for him. And if we look at his status, you'll see he has the Steel command. Also, we have some Moogles. Moglin, Wererat, and Magi. We cannot change their equipment. You can't even view it. Unless you press left on this page. And you'll see they're each wielding a buckler, and they have a weapon. You actually could have done this with Wedge and Biggs too. You couldn't change their equipment, but you could see what they had. But it didn't really matter then. Here, you'll notice Mograt's weapon, the Morningstar, it has that diamond next to it. That is a specifically long-range weapon. So if you go to formation, you can change the order of your party. Or if you double-click on somebody, you put them in the back row. They will do less physical damage, but take less damage unless they wield a long-range weapon. So Mograt gets to take a little less damage, but deal full damage from the back row. So we've set this party up at this chokehold. Let's bring this one over, and let's see who we got here. Mog, Molulu, Mogan, and Mogawel. And once again, you cannot select their equipment, except for Mog for some reason. He wields a spear, and a nicer shield than a buckler. But let's look at this. You'll see Molulu and Mogawel have long range. Let's fix them up. Also, Mog is higher level than them by quite a bit with a lot more HP. Oh, poor Molulu, you're only level 3. You're gonna die, aren't you? So, let's got him in this position. Let's move this party over. And this one is Mogsy, Mogwin, Mugmug, and Cosmog. Mogsy fights with a brush. Are you gonna paint him to death? Anyway, Cosmog has a long-range weapon, so let's put them in the back row. Now, we wait for the enemies to come up here. You can run down and seek them out, but I like just sort of letting them come to me. An interesting point to note, if a party dies, it's not game over. They get put back up by Terra, everybody with 1 HP. But here we go, we've got Megalodoth and Silver Lobos. And really your best bet is just spam attack. Not like you can really do anything else. I mean, Locke could steal, but there's no real point in doing it. You might get a potion out of it. Usually 2 attacks will kill the Megalodoth and 1 will kill the Silver Lobo unless you get a critical hit. Now we just wait for the enemies to come up. Like you saw in the little cutscene, there are 5 of them. So you have to take care of all 5. And that snowstorm is a killer. Luckily, by splitting it up among our different party, okay, I'm not gonna bad talk that paintbrush. Our different parties, no one group has to take the brunt of everything. This will be our 3rd one. It's always going to be the same set of enemies. Always a Megalodoth and always a Silver Lobo. And I was hoping somebody else could get up there in time before he got his attack off. Unfortunately, we're just not quite that fast. Maybe give Locke a level? No. We got 2 more, and looks like they're all going to the left-hand group. Wait, no, we only fought 2 so far. There's a 5th one on the bottom right. So, Mog also has something interesting. You notice he doesn't have any special commands. Oh, but dang, he was powerful enough to take him out in 1 hit. However, notice here, mastered a new dance. Mog learns dances based on the background wherever he fights enemies. So here we're in a cave, so he got a dance. Let's go ahead and show that off in this battle because, hey, Mog gets to fight again. So when you select a dance, in this case, Twilight Requiem, you lose control of him and he does his own thing. This may be helpful, it may be not. Oh yeah, it's helpful. You remember seeing they were doing about 100 damage? Well, not the greatest, but it does damage plus a little bit of damage over time after the fact. Kind of neat. And we got one last one to take care of. Oh, hey, we got a preemptive strike. Which basically means our ATB gauge is filled completely at the start, and wow, took him out in 1 hit. That was an easy fight. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, now that all of them are taken care of, you only need to take 1 group down to go fight against the guard. But I like to do something silly. I've done this ever since I was a kid. I'm going to keep doing it every time I play this game. I'm bringing the Moogles down. Now, you can't actually run here, holding the B button to dash. It's locked in normal movement speed, which makes sense. They don't want you flitting around the arena and, breaking the game. But as we head down, I'm going to have Locke be the one who his party fights it, because it just seems right. But I like having the others kind of standing around like, yeah, we're going to get you. Also, I've got, let's see. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm not worrying about Wererat as much because they're in the back row. Let's go ahead and take on our next boss, the guard leader, and 2 silver Lobos. Yeah, he hits hard. Now, you can attack the other silver Lobo. If you do that, however, the guard leader will get mad and start using more powerful attacks. So I prefer... net. That puts stop on one party member, so they just literally stop moving and their ATB gauge stops filling. I prefer taking the guard leader out first. Now that we have just the Lobo, 1 attack should do him in, and our second boss is complete. Very, very nice. We've saved Terra. Yay, Moogles! They came to our rescue. Thanks, Moogles. We're in your debt. And we're running. He's picked up Terra, and we're trying to get out of here. This switch shot up. You back with us now? You saved me? Savior, thanks for the Moogles. Can't remember a thing. It's like my mind's trapped in a fog. You lost your memory? A man said it would come back, eventually. So you've got amnesia. Don't worry, I won't leave your side until your memory returns. I'm not gonna up and abandon someone just because they lost their memory. I'll keep you safe, I promise. And we get out of the cave and hide our entrance there. And he runs off up to exit the town. And I just realized I forgot one thing important. Let me jump back real quick to when we were paired up with the Moogles. Alright, so I'm back here. I mentioned and called out something very specific, that Mog has equipment. So what you can do, you can actually remove his equipment. And I would not recommend doing this until you've defeated all the little ones. But once you've done that, remove his equipment. And let's swap back over to Locke. And Locke can equip that mithril shield. Ups his defense, evasion, magic defense. Very helpful for fighting that boss, and you get to take his equipment with you. Now, you can't take the spear, but maybe we'll find somebody else who can use that. So don't forget to do that before you fight the guard leader. Alright, now I'm going to jump back ahead to where we were with the outside, like at the edge of the city. And we're back. Now, I think let's go explore the city. Why not? Nothing bad will happen here, right? Is that... Hey! Yep, they don't want us here. It's not safe here. We better hightail it south to Figaro. Yep, if you try to enter the city again, you just get chased away. However, what's this guy? This is a school for the beginning adventurer. Despite all of our recent advances in technology, the outside world remains full of monsters we know little about. Here, we provide advice to travelers, brave enough to face its many dangers. Well, sure, why not? Let's take a look. Welcome to the Adventuring School. This is water from a recovery spring. It will restore your HP and MP. Such springs are located all throughout the world, so always be on the lookout. Yep, and we're full healed. HP, MP, everything. Guy behind the counter says the exact same thing as he did outside. Let's go in this door for field science. And hey, we got a save point. Let's take a quick use of this. There we go. Yeah, first rule of RPGs, save often. This is a save point. He says the exact same thing that our little tutorial said. But nice that you can access it if you somehow skipped it earlier. So, what's this guy say? Valuables are sometimes hidden in pots, such as this one. Or clocks. Get an ether. I'll go ahead and tell you, none of the items in this building change later in the game. So go ahead and grab them now. Have you heard about relics? Relics can grant you a variety of a variety of abilities. For example, sprint shoes double your walking speed. A gauntlet lets you hold a weapon with both hands to increase damage. The Knight's Code makes you shield others in combat. Dragoon boots allow you to perform jump attacks. A person can equip up to 2 relics at the same time. So yeah, we have relics. Or, well, we have a place to equip them. We don't actually have any. Most of them affect battles. Some of them affect the world map. Or, like, the field, I should say. Make selections using A button. Cancel them with the B button. Press start to open the main menu. Good to know. I already knew that. Potions may taste funny, but they also heal injury. If you're hurt, drink one to restore some HP. Staying in it will completely heal your entire party. That's actually very useful. And let's open this one. Monster in a box! Silver Lobo. This is easy, just take him out in one hit, but yeah, that wasn't very nice having a monster there. Be careful, sometimes monsters lurk inside a treasure chest. Yeah, thanks, buddy. To be fair, if you talk to him before opening that, he says this same thing, so it warns you, but I just love opening the chest first and then him saying it. I already talked to you. Did I already talk to you? Yes. But I know I have not talked to these two guys. Let me teach you how to ride a chocobo. Way to spoil that there's chocobos in this game. Press the A button or up to go forward, steer by pressing left or right, press the B button to dismount. Careful, the bird will return to its pen as soon as you leave the saddle. Now, it's a Final Fantasy game, of course there's going to be chocobos. When selecting armor or weapons in a shop, symbols will appear next to characters that can equip them. An upward pointing triangle indicates an increase in attack or defense power. A downward pointing triangle indicates a decrease. Equal indicates no change. E means the item is already equipped on that character. A symbol beneath a character means that person is currently in your party. That is super useful, and we're not going to see that for a while, but good to know. I got 2 more doors here. If you set the battle mode to wait in the config menu, you can take all the time you want to select spells or items in battle without having to worry about being attacked. Not gonna lie, as a kid, that's what I always had it set on, but I feel like it's more fun having it set to active now. Oh, here we go. Status effects are represented by different colors. You noticed when I had the character get hit by that net and get stopped, he glowed pink. This is what he's talking about. Blue is reflect. Spells are reflected back at enemies. Yellow is protect. Defense is increased. Green is shell. Magic defense is increased. Red is haste. Speed is increased. This is a good one. White is slow. Speed is decreased. And pink is stop. Time is frozen. Very useful to know these things. Where are you going, buddy? Here. The white numbers that appear during battle are damage points. Green numbers are recovery. And damage received... Oh, here we go. He's talking about the different rows. Damage received by characters in the back row is halved, but so is the attack power of those characters. To change rows from the main menu, press left, then select the character and press the A button twice. Interesting note, that is physical damage only. Magic or long-range weapons are not affected. They still get full damage from the back row. Damage is more severe when enemies have you surrounded, especially if your back is to the one attacking. Yep, they actually do more damage if they hit you in the back. Which makes sense, but interesting they incorporated that. You can run from most battles by holding down both the L and R buttons. Turn meters are located in the lower right-hand corner of the battle screen. When a character's turn meter becomes full, you'll be able to enter battle commands for that character. And here is something very interesting. Press select to skip to the next character without entering a command. It does not use up their ATB gauge. So if, I actually did this once earlier when I wanted to show off Terra in the Magitech armor, I swapped over to her real quick. When selecting the target for a spell, press L or R button to target all enemies or allies. So yeah, you can launch Cure on the whole party or Fire on the whole enemy party. And when the battle menu appears, press left or right to select Row or Defend. Row moves the character from the front row to the back, or vice versa. Defend cuts damage received in half and lasts until the character's next turn. Now, point of note, if you do this in battle and locks in the front row, you switch him to the back row, he will be in the front row again when the battle ends. It does not save it permanently, it's only for that battle. Hey, we got a sleeping bag! And we got one more door to look at. What do you say, bud? Yeah, you might find this room more useful after you've gained some experience out in the world. A lot of the things you'll hear in here might not make sense until you've gotten your feet wet. So yeah, this is going to reference some stuff we're going to find out later, but let's go ahead and see what they all have to say. Sure, status effects. Invisibility. Physical attacks will miss you, but spells will always strike true. You'll revert to normal if hit by magic. Imp prevents you from using special skills and magic, so you can only use attack and items. Zombie. Zombies attack friend and foe alike. Only holy water can reverse the status. If your skin is ashen, your HP is 0, and you're still moving, there's a good chance you're a zombie. Sleep and confusion. We've seen one of those already. These status ailments are cancelled when the character is attacked. Image status creates illusionary images of a character, making it difficult for enemies to hit the character. We're not going to see that for a while. Now we have seen this. Fire, ice, and lightning are the 3 principal elements. They're represented by the spells Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder, respectively. And some enemies will have elemental resistances, but I found it's not that big a deal most of the time. The Reflect spell remains active for only a short time and will not reflect lore magic. We'll find out what lore magic is much later in the game. Let's explain a few of the specialized battle commands. Runic absorbs magic and turns it into MP. We'll find out about this later. It remains active until a spell is absorbed or another battle command is given. Trance boosts attack and magic. Duration increases as more battles are fought. Dance and Rage. Once selected, these commands are used continuously until the end of battle. So Dance is the first one we've encountered already. And yes, once you use it until the battle ends, you have no more control of that character. We'll find out about the others as we meet other party members. Re-Raise automatically revives a character if KO'd. Regen gradually restores a character's HP. Also, stuff we're not going to really encounter for a while. Undead creatures, such as ghosts, are damaged by curative spells and items. So that, depending on the situation, can be real helpful. Bushido techniques take time to master. New ones will be learned over time. Again, not going to be for a while. Now here is something very interesting that most people who play this game will never see. Desperate times can bring out strength you never knew you had. Critically wounded characters may occasionally perform powerful hidden techniques when you select Attack. So this is Final Fantasy VI's version of a limit break system. What happens is, if your characters are damaged, so their HP is so low that they're crouching down in battle, they're wounded, they're about to die, they have a chance, when you select Attack, a very small chance, of performing what's called a Desperation move. Sometimes it's a single target attack, sometimes it's on all enemies, but it's a powerful attack. But you have no control over it. It just sometimes happens. If we see one, great. I'm not going to go out of my way to show any of them off. If we don't, because there are YouTube videos already on the internet abound with showing off all the Desperation moves. But here we get a potion and one more guy to talk to. Something to note about the Reflect spell. It doesn't block spells that have already been reflected once. You can use this to your advantage. Cast Reflect on an ally, then cast attack spells on that same person to bounce them at an enemy. Get it? Again, that will be very useful later in the game. As he said, most of this is not really going to make sense until, we've really gotten out there. Let's see, did I already heal up? I did, I'm good for that. And let's go ahead and head out here and get ready to leave the city next time. For now, I think we're going to wrap up this episode, but I'm going to add a little bit of information. I kind of teased it earlier that this is not quite your normal Game Boy Advance version. I'm playing a modded version of it. It changed the colors, it changed the soundtrack back to the Super Nintendo, fixed a few small graphical bugs. Basically, it's, in my opinion, the ideal way to play it. I'm not going to go into details about how you can do it, but if you search on the internet, you'll be able to find ways you can mod your cartridge as well. That's going to wrap up our starting episode. We have begun our adventure. We've got Locke and Terra, an adventurer and a Magitech elite, about to head south to find a place called Figaro. Next time, let's see if we can't find this group called the Returners and maybe try to make a stand against the Empire. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.